G'day, g'day, g'day. It's gonna be a good day. Christmas time. I really wanted to film a video, but I just don't feel like doing a big makeup look right now. And I just want to chat, to be quite honest. Like, I really just feel like I need to chat and talk. Holy tits, like, I just can't even, like, I'm so nervous. Welcome back to my video. Dude, for real. Being so for real. Where do I start? Well, first of all, I'm at one of my favourite places that makes me feel really good. I love seeing the cows. I love seeing, you know, the water, obviously. And I actually love enjoying just watching, like, I'm not being weird, but, like, seeing people fish is kind of fun, you know. I don't want to touch the fish or anything, but, like, you know. And I saw my cows, the baby calves are growing up. I'll show you at the end. Oh my god, warm my heart. I love it. And I love it when they, like, lift their head up and they look at you. And they're like, oh, and they walk towards you. It's, like, the coolest thing. Bro, I actually don't know. Yeah, like, even my bracelets, like, I don't even know where to start, girl. I love these bracelets. I bought them for myself because you gotta love yourself, okay? I bought these for myself. I also brought these 2 books. Yes, they're graphic novels. Leave me alone. I like short form of, like, stories sometimes. Just because sometimes it's just easier for me to get back into that world. And also, like, my imagination is so big as it is. It's nice to see someone else's imagination. That's actually another reason why I really like the graphic novels. I love seeing other people's imagination, and I find that really comforting. It's just comforting for me. But yeah, fuck, this year, dude, you got it. Can I just say one thing, sorry about my constant moving, I don't know. One thing I'm gonna say, like, forgiveness is, like, having these things have really gotten me through this year. I really wanted to do a video on this. I think this will help me doing this video, because then you know when you feel like you've got all of this stuff bottled up inside of you and you're like, I don't know what to do with all of this inside of you, like, all of these thoughts, all of these feelings inside of you, and you just don't know what to do with it all. And it's like, well, you can put it into art, and I don't even want to do that. You know, I received some really, like, it is life-changing in my opinion, because, and something that I've been coming to terms with myself is, like, being okay with feeling these feelings that I'm feeling. Well, I found out on Monday that, now it's Friday, so I found out on Monday that I no longer have, you know, a biological father. And it is a quite personal topic, and I think it's something that I'm going to be more open to talking about in the future, and I think that's pretty fucking okay, to be quite honest. Yeah, like, I'm so grateful for my mum and my sisters and my family, like, and my beautiful friends. Like, I've got some amazing friends and, like, my beautiful family, you know. But losing a parent, you know, the reason why it affects me so much is because, you know, whether you like it or not, your parent is a part of you, and whether you like it or not, you can actually learn a lot from your parents and your family, and you can learn a lot about yourself, to why you might react to certain things, why you naturally do these things, and whether we like it or not, it does actually come into play with our family. And I just want, like, as much as I do have a lot of respect and love for a lot of the way my life has been, I wouldn't change anything in my life. I really wouldn't, because I've got a lot of, like, respect for the past. Like, you've got to have faith. Like, that's actually something that I really want to talk about. I've had a lot of faith this year in just the way things are having to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about religion, it's not about anything like that. It's literally about having faith in your own personal path and your own personal journey, and also your own self, like, having more confidence in being like, there's a reason why this thing happened to you. you can handle it. It's gonna be hard as heck, but you can handle it. Like, that's and it's such a hard mind shift to get into, and it takes time. I'm gonna be really candid. It takes time to get in that mind. You go through waves. You're like, no, what the hell? Sod this, what the heck? And then you're like, no, I can handle this. I can hold space for this, and finding out the news, I was like, I need to hold space for this, because this is like such a big deal. I'm never going to meet this individual, and I wanted to meet him in the future because of past history. It's been taken away, and I just thought to myself, that is just blasphemy. Like, how can this be? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I lost a really close friend of mine earlier this year. It did floor me, because I was close with him, and it really got to me. Like, he was like the brother I never really had. He always protected me. He was always there for me. I was always there for him. I'd go to him advice about men. He gave me the best advice about men, and it's just, I just, like, even talking about him now, like, I miss my brother so hard. Like, I would literally be going and talking to him about a situation, and he would help me with it. It's there for each other, because we're neighbours. Like, you get close with your neighbours, some of them. But then I lost him. When I started my new journey after I moved away. And that was so hard, dude. Like, that really took me on I really took myself on a ride. It's no one's fault but everyone. Like, we choose our own ways to handle things. Been saying that sometimes you can't control how your body wants to handle grief. Grief is something that I think I've always struggled with, in abandonment, because it's just like, why would you do that? I've been so nice this whole time. Why would you take them away? Why would you do that? It's that kind of mindset. I'm like, but why? But why must be this the way? You know what I mean? Like, why? And so it's something, and I don't know if it's a part of growing up. I don't want to know, to be quite frank with you. Also, in saying that, I've had to grieve and outgrow friendships as well. Those friendships where I was like, I put these boundaries, and I've really reflected on these certain friendships. I'm like, whoa, this ain't healthy anymore, bro. Like our friendship is not healthy anymore. We clearly don't see eye to eye anymore. We clearly have different morals in certain things. We clearly are misunderstanding a lot. Something has to give, and clearly we're just not meant to be in each other's lives anymore, or in this point in time. We might be friends again in the future, we might not be. But that's something that I, years ago, really became comfortable with, because I really do believe people are in your life for a certain amount of time, and that's just how it is. And when I allowed myself to be okay with that and sit with that acceptance, the weight goes away, because you're just like, well, if you showed up in a way that you were proud of, in a way that you most likely wouldn't regret, what's the issue? You know what I mean? No? Like, that's a really big thing with me. I don't live with a lot of regrets. I make sure I try and communicate as much as possible. I try and be myself as much as possible. That's why the thing with my father, like my biological father, literally passing away so suddenly, it was natural reasons. It was just so sudden, It's terrifying. That aspect is also terrifying. But I learned that lesson in 2020. You cannot control what's going to happen in the world, because I had this whole plan for my career and my life, and that obviously went through the window because of COVID and because of like life circumstances as well. 2020 really taught me the lesson of you cannot control anything. Like, you can't, like, you literally have. The only thing you can control is how you handle what's happened to you. And it's such a harsh reality, but it's so true. Like, you can only control how you handle a situation and how it affects you, and cause and effect. And I remember learning that when I was in school as well, like cause and effect of things like verbs, adverbs, and all of that stuff. And then you're like, what does that have to relate to? Well, I don't know. It was just a side note. I don't know. It comes to this opportunity, and I shouldn't say it's an opportunity, but like, it is like the opportunity of, getting to know my father for the man he was now, and, you know, who he was now or who he could have been is completely out the window. Like, getting to know me for who I am now is completely out the window. I'll always have, you know, I do have his CD that he made, and I do have the letters, and I was feeling really guilty about not, you know, seeing him before his time, but I could not have predicted that. No one can predict when someone's going to leave. And so I've really had to nail that one out of myself, like not being guilty for not seeing him. I personally wasn't ready for something, and that is more than okay. I've really come to terms with that as well. If you don't want to talk about something, you don't have to talk about something. If you don't want to see someone, you don't have to see them. If you're not comfortable seeing them, you're not comfortable seeing them. And that's just the harsh reality of it. Like, that's just how I feel. And ever since I've trusted my intuition all year, I have never felt happier and more like me. Like, I do feel like a combination of my 17-year-old self and an adult version of me. I feel like me again. So that's why I am really pedantic on, like, protecting my peace, because my peace is my peace. My life is my life, and people can say whatever they need to say to make them feel better at the end of the day. But when a lot of people don't have the full story, the full answers, they're going to jump to conclusions. They're going to assume things. And so it gets very draining. That's all I have to say. It gets very draining. It's just a part of the way shit is. I've lost friends that I never thought I'd lose, and I let it affect me in the past. I remember in 2021, I lost a really good mate of mine, and I was so devastated I lost him. He's still alive, thank God. But, like, yeah, he was one of my close, good friends, and I lost him. And I remember coming to terms with that as well. Like, wow, you really don't always have everyone. So it's really important to cherish the ones you do have, and make sure the ones that you do have respect you, and make sure the ones that you do have, you know, you are, for the lack of the better word, aligned in the right way. You know, there's some people that you don't realize are taking so much from you. You can love someone, but it doesn't mean they need to be in your life. And that is another thing this is something that I really wanted to talk about. And this is something that I think has helped me with my closure with my father. And it's just because if I hold on to this grief, and if I hold on to this loss, like, I'm going to feel this ache most likely throughout most of my life, because I'm never going to get to meet this man that is I'm a lot like him in a lot of ways. And, I'm never going to really get to meet him. I'm a lot like him in other ways, but a lot of ways I'm not. I'm my own person. And that's what we always need to remember. At the end of the day, you're never a depiction of your parents. There may be parts of you that are like your parents, but at the end of the day, you are your own person. That's all that really matters. What you want at the end of the day as well. That's really important. I didn't wear my hearing aids again. I'm so sorry. I just realized, because the way I talk is very different when I wear my hearing aids. I'm so sorry. I just didn't put them in. Next year's goal is really to, like, make sure I'm wearing my hearing aids more. But the forgiveness and still loving people even though they're not in your life anymore is something that I've really learned how to do. Like, as I've said many times, there is no one that I hate. There is no one that I don't like. Literally no one. And, like, if I can have love for an individual, my biological father, that, you know, there is history with, that really, you know, did a bit of a number, let's just leave it at that, and I can still have love and respect for him at the end of the day, it's hard to not be able to move forward. You know what I mean? Like, there is nothing I can do about this situation. I can't find a time traveler, Doctor Who, where are you? And be like, hey, can you take me back to the date before he, like, a little bit, like, a couple of months before he passed away, or a year before he passed away, so I can get to know this guy. I can't do that. I've really come to terms with that. And once, like, that really helped me a lot as well. Like, if anyone's ever experienced something similar to me, like, that's something that's really been like, well, I can't change anything. All I can change is how I move forward and appreciate people that I do have in my life, you know, live with no regrets, and make sure I maintain that way of being. Like, as I said, I've worked really hard on myself, and this year, especially after losing my brother, and I'll always call him my brother, because, like, That's how it felt to me, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care. You didn't know our friendship. You didn't know our relationship. You were not living side by side to us. You know what I mean? Like we were literally neighbours, so I just don't really care about other people's perceptions on that. That's why I think I don't care about people's perceptions on this as well, because I think it's really, the one thing that's really affected a lot of people is perception, and people won't do anything because they're scared of judgment and being like, you know, criticized and like perceived in a way they don't want to be perceived. At the end of the day, you cannot control what people are going to perceive of you. No. What? No, you can't. You can't control how people are going to take you. You can't control how people are going to swallow you. That's just how it is, dude. That's just how it is. I can't control that, you know? But when it comes to having love for people that have hurt you so much, that is so healing. It's so healing. Like, there's friendships that I'm no longer in contact with. Like, once I block people, once I remove you out of my life, I don't look back. It's something that I've done since I was younger. When I block people, it's like, I don't think about that person. Like, every now and then something might remind me, I'm like, oh, I hope they're going okay. Like, I do not, what's it going to achieve wishing ill on people that you used to be friends with, that you actually used to really love a lot? Because hate, in my opinion, comes from a form of love. And that's just, there's a difference between like hating someone because they've done really bad things in the world. That is a completely different story. I'm talking about connections you've had with people and they're like, oh yeah, we used to be best friends, or we used to date, but I hate them now. Bro, you used to love that person. Like, that feeling in inside when you literally choose to love them instead of hate them, so much better for me personally. Like, and why wouldn't you want someone that you've removed from your life to actually be happy? Like, I've always just felt that way. Even with people that have hurt me a lot, I'm always like, oh, I'm really glad they're happy. I really hope they find someone better. Or all of these things. I'm like, I hope they find what they're like. Dude, I've always been that way. And I still to this day will be like that. I always want the best for people that I used to love. And that's on that. I will always want the best. And there's a reason of why I will remove people from my life. It's just for the best of my own existence. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. That's why forgiveness is genuinely my favorite flavor. And when you do forgive, you don't need to forget. No one's telling you to forget, girl. No one's don't you dare forget, because when you forget, that's when you got to learn how to forgive again. Don't you dare ever forget what people do to you, dude. Like, don't ever, because that is a lesson, dude. Like, if people hurt you, that's a it sounds shit, but it's a lesson. If you want to gain something from hurt, it's a lesson. So you don't feel that feeling again. So you don't go through all that again. But having acceptance, when you no longer have a certain thing in your life, is honestly just, it floors you. You do get into a still frame of a mind shock throughout. Like, for the last few days, I've been in a really bad, like, I wouldn't say it's bad, but I've been in a freeze frame. I've been in a really weird freeze frame for the last 5 days, you know, making sure. But this time I was like, okay, we can't let this grief win. We can't let this pain win this time. We need to look after myself this time. Like, we need to make sure I'm showering every day, doing all these things. When I lost my brother, I don't remember when I showered after losing him. I didn't shower for at least over a week. I remember that. Couldn't brush my hair, couldn't do anything with my hair, couldn't get changed. I remember wearing the pajamas and putting something on top of that, because like the pajamas, when I found out he's gone, and putting something on top of that and going to work, because I literally couldn't shower. I could not move my body. My grief was in my body. My depression was in my body. And then when I found out the news on Monday, then Tuesday I was still in a bit of like, what the fuck freeze frame. Wednesday I felt it. I was like, oh my God, it's back. It's back. It's in my body again. I can't move again. I'm feeling all of this pain. Like, it's just awful. It's an awful feeling. Going through grief is one of the awful, like, it's such a hard feeling. And I keep telling myself, like, you wouldn't be experiencing this if you couldn't handle it. I promise, I promise, I promise, I promise, I promise. If that's what you need to say to yourself to get through something that painful, you're welcome. Do it. you've got to, like, I'm just like, you know, better things are coming. I've worked so hard to get to myself to this point now, like, be able to experience life. Like, I want to be able to, my goal next year is to be able to go overseas. Like, I've never been overseas, and I'd love to experience that as well. So I'm really going to lock in on that, and making sure that I'm only making space and time for people that truly do the same for me as well. That's a huge lesson that I've learned this year. Do not make time or space for people that do not do the same flavor for you in any way possible. Bro. Don't do it. Don't waste your time giving love to someone when they can't even give any form of love back to you. It's so heartbreaking. It's actually so heartbreaking. You don't want to break your own heart. Instead, love it. Because at the end of the day, who's going to be the bitch staring back at you in the mirror when you're 82? You! Who's going to be the bitch that's still brushing your dentures or your teeth when you're 75? You! Who's going to be the one telling your life story? You are. You can have Bob, everyone telling you what your story is. Everyone, you know, making a story of you. You know, you've seen it with Elvis. You've seen it with Marilyn. You've seen it with Michael Jackson. You've seen it with all of these celebrities. People are still telling their story. But everyone knows that's probably not the true story. And if Michael Jackson, Marilyn Monroe, this is just a hypothetical, like Elvis, like if they got a chance to tell their story, I'm pretty sure it'd be very different to what we see now. So why are you letting other people have a narrative of your own life? That's another thing. Like, if you don't like that, then you make sure people know your narrative then. You make sure people know who you are as a person. You know, there's things that a lot of people probably never know about me, but I'm cool with it. But you can still choose to show up and be yourself. You don't have to share every single part of your life, but it doesn't hurt to, like, talk about it either. That's why I did want to bring up the thing with the friendships. That's why I did want to bring up the thing with forgiveness. And, like, forgiveness is a huge virtue, and, like, it's a huge relief. When you forgive someone, you don't need to forget what they did to you, but don't hold on to it. When you forgive them, we're only human. Some people aren't always going to act the way you expect them to. If they did, this planet would be extremely boring. And you can also not control how people are going to act. You can't control how people are going to treat you. You can't control any of that. And, you know, losing a parent, and, you know, even though he wasn't really there much in my life, it's still a hard thing to come to terms to, because you have to forgive all of that. You have to forgive what, you know, you went through when you were younger. You have to forgive that you're not going to see him again. Because I was like, why would you do that to me? Big boss man, why would you do that to me? I wanted to meet the guy. I'm not making light of it, but, like, I'm just talking. Like, why would you do that to me? And, like, all I kept here, like, in my head, everything happens for a reason. You just weren't meant to meet him. I just think that's rough. So I've just had to accept it. Like, as I've said on my little TikTok, like, rant, I was like, it's just fucked. Like, but once I forgave the fact that I'm never going to see him, once I forgave myself for not seeing him, once I forgave, you know, ages ago, when I forgave myself for being okay with losing certain friends, because I knew when you lose certain friends, better normally does come along, or more people that are more, for the lack of a better word, aligned with you do come along. When you do let those friendships go that feel just not right anymore, you might be friends in the future, as I said, but if it just doesn't feel right anymore and you let that go, you do feel better, because you never know what's going to come around the corner. That's, like, the one thing I do appreciate about my life. As shocking as it is, as heartbreaking as certain things can be, I do have a lot of beautiful things that happen into my life as well, and there are a lot of aspects that I always treasure and appreciate of my life, because, you know, it did make me feel good. It was such a beautiful feel. I was like, it was beautiful. I felt like I was in a daydream. I was like, what? Like, I genuinely felt like my 16-year-old self was like literally living her dream little life, and that was such a beautiful feeling. That's why I don't really live with a lot of regret. That's why I make sure I do communicate as much as I can when it comes to, you know, anything. And that is a really big thing I wanted to talk about today, and I want to thank you for listening if you've made it this far. But that is why forgiveness is my favorite flavor, because you can always learn in this as well. You learn when you forgive people. You just learn a lot. And I'd rather be happy for people that hurt me, because at the end of the day, when people hurt you, it's more, hurt people, dude. When people hurt you, hurt people. And so seeing the people that hurt you happy, it means, great, they're not hurting anymore, so they're probably not hurting others anymore, subconsciously, because hurt people. I'm sure I've hurt people before in the past. I was hurting a lot between 2020 and 2024. I was proper, like, hurting a lot. Let's just leave it like that. Like, I was not myself at all. But there is, again, can't control Alt Delete. It is just a part of it. And there are probably things that I did that I regret. When saying that, can't change it. I cannot change it. And it has made me the woman that I am today. And that is someone that I am grateful for, because who knows who I would be if I might not have had those circumstances, or if I might not have had those things happen to me. So moving forward, you know, it is with a bit of a heavy heart, because you're like, well, I've lost this little part of me that I'll never get to really learn about. But it does, in saying that, make you really grateful for the connections I do still have in my life. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my strong, incredible mum. Like, she's amazing. She's honestly amazing. One of my best friends. And same with my sister, like, amazing. So wise, so beautiful. They both are. And I love my grandparents as well. And I love my older sister as well. I love all of my friends. I've got such a beautiful life as well. And I'm I'm independent. I do a lot of things solo, but I think a lot of people that have been kind of going through what I've gone through in a different flavor would understand that. They would understand that aspect when you do things solo, and you just, maybe I'll have more friends in the future, maybe I'll have a partner in the future, maybe I'll have all these other things in the future. You just never know. But that's kind of the exciting part. So you gotta keep chugging along like a train, unfortunately. Today, just talking to you it's helped me a lot. 30 minutes has actually helped me so much, just talking and getting this all out, because I don't even know what I've said. I don't even remember anything I've said. Oh dear, that's okay. But I really can't wait for December to just be December. And yeah. Today has been a good day, and I hope yours is too, even in a small way. And I want to try and do these videos a little bit more, because I enjoy it, and it could really help someone. So yeah. And yeah, if you've experienced what I've experienced, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, and I'm really sorry that you have. Grief is not for the weak, and you don't have to be a survivor. You can be a thriver. Yeah, I fucking rhymed it. I don't care. What are you gonna do? Yeah, that's why I drove to this park here. I just need to feel a little bit better for a little while. You know, watching the water, you know, watching people I don't know do their thing. It's really nice. Like, not being a weirdo, of course. Having my books, reading, you know, doing these things that bring me joy, bring me love, seeing the cows, you know, all these different things. Like going to the gym, it really helps my body, it helps my brain. And, you know, going to the movies helps me. I'm definitely doing that sometime this week. I have to. I'm just nervous, you know. And I'm also on that, I'm actually learning how to turn nervousness into excitement as well. That's a really big thing I'm learning, because I do struggle with, I guess, for the lack of a better word, anxiety. I do struggle with that a lot. I just get really scared. And so I'm really learning how to turn the scaredness into excitement. But I don't want to make this video too long, because I know what I'm like when it comes to editing. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This year has been crazy. This year has been absolutely Tom and Jerry. Oh, my bracelet came off again. Sharks. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sweating. Oh, sympathy. Oh, sympathy. Yeah, I know that's not very good. I don't care what you think about me tonight. Thank God I learned how to love myself earlier this year. I don't know if I would have been able to handle it the same way if I didn't learn how to love myself earlier this year as well. Yeah, at all the same way if I didn't learn to love myself. That's why I really know that, like, learning to accept and love yourself and forgive is such a big thing for me, you know, and I'll always treasure a lot of things. I think that's also why I do love capturing a lot of candid photos. Like, it's just been something I've done since I got a bloody camera, and it's just, I'll always be able to appreciate a lot of things because I have captured a lot of memories. And yeah, but I think I'll just leave it at that, and I'm gonna go do my laundry now. Yeah. Welcome to being an adult when you don't have a washing machine. Don't judge me. I'm perfectly fine going to the laundromat. It doesn't really bother me. I get to read while I'm doing that and listen to music or doom scroll on TikTok. I don't know, bro. I just live on this planet, okay? Like, I don't know. I genuinely do not know. I literally popped out, and then I was like, okay, bada bing, bada boom, rise, I step in the room, it's time to live and let love and be on the planet, brother. Yeah. Anyway. Bye.